Hello, Vanessa. How are you today?
Hi, Human. I'm good. And you?
I am excellent. I can't complain.
Good.
So today we are having a great chat, and I love the theme we are talking about today. We are talking about movies.
Yes.
Do you like movies?
I love movies. Yes, I do. But
And do you like to go to the cinema?
no, I actually don't like going to the cinema. I think it's a bit of a hassle having to get dressed up and stand in queues and all of that. I much prefer watching movies at home. And you? Do you like going to the cinema?
I actually like going to the cinema. I don't like the standing in queues. But I love to go to the cinema. The whole atmosphere and the excitement and sitting in the theater and the lights dimming. Oh, I love that.
So
But I love experiences.
me too, but I don't know. I just prefer being at home. So how often do you go to the cinema and when do you usually go?
Well, I try to go maybe once a month or twice a month. And then I usually go at the weekend.
Okay.
And I like to take my family and my friends, or my family and my friends, or just my family, or just my friends, meet them there. I actually went last Saturday and I saw a great new movie on the circuit. It was an animation.
Okay.
And I love animation. The characters are so lifelike.
They are.
So I really enjoy a good animation. What's your favorite type of movie?
I like quite a range of genres. I like a good comedy. I like drama, romantic comedies, and I also like thrillers. What about you?
The last one you mentioned, a thriller. That is my absolute favorite, as well as some action movies. I love action movies. But when I watch a thriller, I like it with a spy theme. I love spying and I love spies. It really keeps me glued to my seat. And the plot, I love the plots of thrillers and action movies because it keeps you right up to the end.
Yeah.
That suspense. Oh, I love it.
That's true. That's true. And so a big part of movies is the music. So the soundtrack of the movie. What's your favorite animation soundtrack of all time?
Well, I have to say it's difficult because the soundtracks of animations, they are so good. They are written especially for that movie. But if I had to choose, I'd probably go for Frozen 1. I don't know whether you remember Frozen 1.
Yeah.
Well, that soundtrack, it was absolutely incredible. I loved the theme song.
I'd like to hear you singing it, Human.
Well, when I listen to the soundtrack, or when I hear the soundtrack from Frozen, I start singing along to the great annoyance of my family. But I love it, and yes, I really do it. What is your favorite animation soundtrack?
I like the soundtrack for The Lion King, the first Lion King movie.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, with lots of, I think Elton John did a lot of those tracks, and I really enjoy that soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack goes with the movie. It creates so much anticipation, and it actually colors in the whole scene while the music is playing. Oh yes, I love soundtracks. I actually have quite a lot of CDs with soundtracks from movies.
Okay. And Human, do you like musicals?
Oh, I love musicals.
Do you?
I absolutely love musicals. Yes, I do. There are so many. But at this stage, I'm going to give away my age. But The Sound of Music, I have to admit, you can laugh, but I absolutely love it.
Well, funnily enough, my parents had the album of that, and I can remember listening to it when I was growing up, and I knew all the words. I could sing along to all of the songs. So now my husband hates musicals and refuses to watch them. So now at the moment, like Mamma Mia, the ABBA songs, I love that. But he won't watch them.
Well, luckily my family loves musicals. So whenever there's a musical on circuit, I'm off and I go and watch it, and we all go.
Good.
But if there's one thing I actually don't like is science fiction. That genre doesn't work for me. I don't know. I just don't like it at all.
Really?
Do you like science fiction? Yes, I don't like it.
No, I like some science fiction. So like the original Star Wars movies, I did like those. I must say the later ones I didn't like so much. I enjoy some science fiction. But yeah, it's not my favorite genre, but there are lots of special effects in science fiction. So, you know, I always wonder what goes into making all of that so that it looks so real.
That is a very good question. If I have to think, the creation of creating the scenery, that is quite difficult, because normally it's not at places that actually exist.
Yeah.
So they have to create this futuristic place, and I think they do that mostly in studios. They don't really film on site.
No, well, they wouldn't be able to really, with Spider-Man flying through the air.
Definitely. And that's another thing I really do like. I love movies with these heroes. What do you call them again?
Superheroes.
Superhero movies. I love Spider-Man, Superman, Iron Man. Maybe that's a man thing. I don't know.
I think so, because I really don't like those movies. And at the moment, it seems to be that's all there is. And they just keep making more. I don't know how many Superman and Spider-Man movies there are now, and Batman, and they just keep coming out. I don't enjoy them.
Well, I love them, and I love the cars, and I love the planes, and I love it when they put on these robot suits and they can fly and they have superpowers. I absolutely love it. But talking about these special effects, how do you feel about, or what do you feel about computer technology? Or what do you think about computer technology?
Well, it's definitely changed the way movies are made. So if you think of, you talking about superheroes, if you think of the first Superman movie, the effects were so basic, and, you could see it was done on a set, very, not at all lifelike. And now, they create these effects that are so lifelike, you think they are real. It's amazing how computer technology has advanced, and so it's amazing.
Yes, definitely. And I think the people that create these robots, or the ability for the characters to fly, I think that is incredible. I would love to go and see one day behind the scenes how they actually do that.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is done with those green screens. So it looks like, someone is flying, but they maybe are suspended by wires or stuff, and then they add the effects in afterwards. But yeah, it is amazing.
No, the background, then they add the background, and it actually looks as if the person is flying. But and that's one thing about movies I really do like, those special effects. It's just incredible, and it just makes the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think it must be very costly as well, to create such a movie, or actually any movie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at the credits at the end of the movie and you see how many people are involved in making one movie, and you think all of those people get paid for their work, from the person who makes the tea to the director, and all the special effects that are involved and the time it takes, it must cost millions.
It must, yeah, it's millions and millions and millions of dollars. So those producers that invest the money into those movies, I think they are quite, they have enough.
Yes,
I
I'm
think they
sure.
have enough.
I don't think they are struggling. and
Not at all.
and when you see how much the movies make, you know, when you get these sort of blockbuster movies that come out and the millions of people that go to see those movies, yeah, I think they get their money back.
Definitely, definitely. I have to admit, I also sit right up to the end when all the credits roll on the screen to see who was working on the movie, who did the stunts, all that kind of thing. Yeah, it's incredible to think and see how many people are involved in making a movie.
And also, often, especially in comedy movies, if you wait until the end of the credits, they have those blooper scenes where they've made mistakes in the films, and those are fun to watch.
That really is. Well, we don't think that the actors actually make mistakes, because
But
the
I'm sure
movies are
they do.
perfect when you see them. When you see the movie, it's perfect.
Yeah,
But they must have tried and tried and tried, because everybody makes mistakes.
definitely, definitely.
But is there a type of movie that you don't like?
Yes, I don't like horror movies at all. I don't think in a lot of them the acting's not very good. The story isn't very good. It's just about scaring people. Sometimes there isn't even really a lot of dialogue. So all the actors have to do is learn how to scream.
That is so true. So if you can scream and you can roll your eyes,
Yeah.
and you can fall on the ground, I think you are absolutely the perfect actor for a horror movie.
So have you ever seen a horror movie that really scared you?
As I don't watch horror movies a lot, but I remember one. I was still at university, and a lot of my friends with me, we stayed in the same res, and we went to the theater, to the cinema, and we saw this movie that was done in a cemetery. And this specific scene was in the dead of night, and you could see the mist rolling in, and it was eerie, and you didn't know what was happening, because it was just the cemetery, and everybody was sitting in anticipation, what's going to happen next. And the next moment, a cat jumped into the screen, and it mowed this scream. And I was sitting with my popcorn on my lap, and as the cat jumped in and it made this terrible noise, I just threw the popcorn, and I must have jumped a meter high. And as the popcorn flew and it fell on the people, everybody in the theater started screaming. So it was absolutely chaos, and then we all started laughing because it was actually so silly.
Yeah.
But that is what I remember about that. And after that, I have never seen another horror movie, because I really absolutely don't like
Yeah,
it.
I don't like them at all. I agree with you on that.
So we are talking about acting and actors. Do you have a favorite male or a famous female actor?
A female actor, I love Meryl Streep.
Oh, yes.
She goes back a long time, but she's still acting, and I think she's brilliant. I really enjoy her. She just adapts to whatever, you know, the role is, and she has played so many different sort of personalities, and I think she's fantastic. And you?
Well, I agree with you. Meryl Streep, one of my favorites. And as I love action movies and thrillers, I like Jason Statham, and
Yes.
I love James Bond, the 007 series.
Also, who is your favorite James Bond actor?
I have to say Daniel Craig.
See, I'm old school. I still like Sean Connery. He was my favorite.
Yes, he was the first one, and he was really, really good. Your son, he is studying filmmaking, isn't he?
Yes, he is actually. So he started with photography when he was younger. He enjoyed taking photographs, and he studied photography for a while, and now he's moved into filmmaking. And it's quite interesting to see the processes that he goes through, because he's made some short documentaries of his own. I don't always understand them, because he's quite arty and he likes to add strange images and sound effects and things. But it is very interesting to see him filming. First of all, you know, he'll film the whatever the subject is. Then he finds different things to add to it and he sometimes makes his own soundtracks, because he's musical as well. He plays the piano, so he'll sometimes make his own music to go with it, or he then has to find music. And then watching him edit it and put it all together, it's very interesting.
All this talking about movies, it made me realize I've got some time. It's weekend, so I'm going to pop off to the movies.
What's on? What are you going to see?
There's a new action movie on the circuit, so I'm going to pop out into the queue, get my popcorn, something to drink, and I'm going to enjoy the movie.
Well, enjoy it. I will probably also watch a movie later. It's very cold, so I'll have my blankets and my popcorn, and I'll be very comfortable on my couch.
Enjoy, and
too.
I hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, Human. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Find your English voice with IQ Global. Go to our website www.iqglobal.com to find out more.